Thanks for attending this month's LKCS webinar on credit-based marketing. And again, I am Tim Turzin here at LKCS. So credit-based marketing, what we're really going to talk about today is really focused marketing to find the right prospects and account holders for loan products. Okay, that's what credit-based marketing really is revolving around and what we're looking for. So before I jump into it all, again, we're going to go over a little bit about LKCS. Some of you may not do business with us currently or not know who we are. So LKCS is a full-service marketing company. We've been in business since 1961, and we've dealt with financial institutions the entire time. Okay, so this slide is just showing all of the different products and services that we do offer. Obviously, we're going to talk about our credit-based marketing services today, but you can definitely reach out to me later or any one of our other reps here at a different time if you have questions or needs on some other products and services. So there's two parts of credit-based marketing that we're going to discuss today. All right, we're going to talk about credit prospecting and credit alerting. They are two different things, and they're going to be focused and targeted to different types of activities and different markets. So the credit prospecting is what we call a proactive marketing strategy that's going to allow you to target account holders and or prospects who are already have a loan or they have the potential to buy. So you're proactively looking for people that you can either refinance or have a high propensity to buy a particular product or service. The credit alerting service is a reactive marketing strategy that's going to target account holders who are currently in the market for a loan product. Okay, so these are people that are out in the market right now filling out applications, and you are going to react to that ping on their credit file and then reach out to them and try to get that business to stay with you instead of going out to potential competitive lender. Okay. So before we get into all that stuff, we're going to go over a bunch of things beforehand, but we're going to talk about where the data comes from. Okay, that's a big thing. Everybody wants to know exactly where they're actually getting this data and all that good stuff. People are really worried about the rules regarding pre-screen data, and is it going to be within compliance? Can I do this? Is it too big brother? All this type of stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit. Some people ask, do I get to pick my own credit data? I've seen things like this in the past, and it comes with, hey, here's the 5 or 6 things you can do. All right. And then the big one is everybody really worries that it's really expensive to do this. Okay. So we'll talk about the pricing a little bit towards the end. Okay. So where are we getting this data? LKCS is actually purchasing data from all 3 major bureaus. Okay, so we're going to get data from Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Okay, we have relationships with all 3, so it's really nice, pretty easy to get set up there. And the reason we chose to get relationships with all 3 rather than just one, or maybe you have a preferred bureau that you like to go through and you don't really need the other 2, that's fine. But we have found that not all of the bureaus have all of the information on everybody. So it's important to source out that data to multiple bureaus. Okay, so even though you use Equifax, the place down the street or the place where they applied online uses TransUnion. So the Equifax data is behind because TransUnion got that report today. Equifax might not know about it for a couple weeks. Okay, so by using all 3, we actually see up to a 70% increase in the leads we get back when pulling data. Obviously, the more leads you get, the more options you have to close loans, the more loans you're actually going to close. All right, so the more leads you get and the more potential buyers you have, all right, it's better for the bottom line. Okay, biggest benefit is there is no additional cost to obtain the data from multiple bureaus. Once you're set up on one, we're going to get you set up for all 3, and you can pick and choose. You don't always have to use all 3. We do recommend it, but there is no other pricing. It's going to be the same setup costs and all that good stuff. So it's all in line. Okay, so this slide here really just talks about why, again, we like using all 3 bureaus. All right. You can still select which of the credit bureaus you want to receive data from, and you can actually order them Even though you prefer to work, with one, we can make that person number one on our kind of search list. And then credit bureau 2 as a second option, credit bureau 3 as a third option. So your preferred bureau will still do the majority of those pre-screen leads. It's just anybody that's fallen through the cracks is going to get caught by the other two bureaus. Okay. And again, just because you use one doesn't mean that potential account holder is using that same bureau wherever they're applying. Because remember, with today's online applications, you don't know where that actual application is going to. Even if the majority of the financial institutions in your area use one, that's not the case. So this what we call incremental lift by adding those additional bureaus is huge. So that bar graph at the bottom, just showing you from one bureau to two, you're going to get about 40% more leads. And then from 1 to 3, a little over 70%. It's a big number, right? That's a lot of potential opportunities that are being left out on the table if you only go with one. So again, we like to, push that. We like to use all three, and this is the big reason why. So the data aggregation, where is the other data coming from? Because we can go outside of just the normal credit bureau data and actually supplement that data with all kinds of other types of demographic lists and different pieces, so we can really target market. All right, so 9 times out of 10, just the credit data side, is pretty good. It's going to get us a pretty good focus group. But there's times we want to get even more picky about who we're sending an offer to, and this is where those extra data points come in. So we actually, source credit and non-credit data to multiple places to create, a good compilation of data in our system. So we're actually seeing about 1,100 data points from 215 million consumers on all of the different areas that we're pulling. So again, we're pulling the information from the credit bureaus. We're pulling in other demographic information. We're pulling in property information, which is coming from, your county deeds and records and all that type of stuff. Automotive information. We're calculating home values or LTV with the hedonic index. We're pulling in household reports with those persistent responders. So all the stuff into one database so we can really fine tune and find the exact account holders we're looking for to target for different loan products. So when we use credit data, there's a few things we have to do to remain in compliance, okay? So number one, you get to specify your lending guidelines, okay? We're going to go off of whatever you're comfortable looking for, whatever criteria that might be, we're going to use that. So you only have to market to prospects or account holders who meet your specific set. Okay, you're no longer limited to just, here's the few things you can look at. We can look at whatever it is that you're comfortable with. We then, when we pull this data, have to do what they call a firm offer of credit. Okay, we're going to talk more about all those little intricacies on the next slide. We have to be compliant with the Fair Credit Reporting Act when we're doing this. And the best part is LKCS is going to help you with all this. Okay, it's not going to fall on your shoulders to get this stuff approved, through the bureaus and all this other stuff. We are going to assist you and tell you when changes need to be made or what needs to be made correct so we can actually get this approved and move forward. We are actually not going to purchase data for you until all of those things are signed off on by the bureaus. So we're going to be safe no matter what. All right. So moving into that firm offer of credit and what that is. When we're getting, this credit bureau data, we have to do certain things with that marketing material, specifying that offer. We have to, one, indicate that the recipient is pre-selected, pre-screened, pre-approved, or pre-qualified. Any of those terms are fine. Use what you wish, but we have to say it. There are going to be terms and conditions or eligibility requirements, basically telling them, based on X, Y, and Z, you're pre-approved for this offer. We are also going to include information of why credit may not be extended. So what I mean by credit not being extended is you still hold the whole deck of cards. Okay? Just because we pre-approve them does not mean they are entitled to that loan. Okay? They still have to come in. They still have to fill out an application. They still have to go through all the normal channels. So you can run that second credit report when they come in. If anything changed, anything's different, whatever it might be, you can still deny them that loan. There's also going to be a minimum dollar amount for which that recipient has been qualified. So, we just need to tell them that, hey, you're pre-approved for an auto loan for at least $5,000 or something like that. And then there's going to be some opt-out notice and disclosure information letting them know how they can get off those pre-approved lists if they wanted to. All of those things, again, LKCS is going to help with. We're going to make sure you meet all these requirements so you're safe. So with that, we're going to jump into the actual products now. We're going to talk about both sides. I'm going to start with the credit alerting side. So credit alerting is going to allow you to react with the right offer at the right time. You're going to have the ability to reach out to those account holders who are defecting to your competition in near real time. Everything we're doing is based on the actual credit bureau data, and we can deliver that firm offer of credit and cross-sell additional products the moment we see a need has been identified. So I say we can cross-sell here. It's interesting. People say, well, yeah, they're in the market for, a home loan. So that's all I want to talk to them about, which is fine. But just because they're in the market for a home loan doesn't mean you can't talk to them about other products and services once you get them interested. Okay? We already see their credit history. We see their credit score. They're being approved for this home loan. So they're probably going to get approved for a credit card or another product or whatever it is. So always think about the cross-sell. So how the system works. Anytime an account holder applies for credit anywhere, an inquiry is posted to their credit file. All of those inquiries are categorized according to what type of product they were looking for. So we know that they were out there looking for a mortgage or an auto loan or credit card or whatever it might be. We then have a list of account holders from you. So a list of your account holders. We run your list against that bureau feed. Okay? Anytime we see somebody from that bureau feed match your account file list, we look at it further. Okay? If they're in the market for a mortgage loan, we're going to look at your mortgage criteria. Do they meet that criteria? Yes or no? If they do, they are brought into the system as a lead that's given back to you. If they don't meet the criteria, we're going to ignore them. Okay? So if they don't meet the criteria, obviously we're not going to reach out and pre-approve them for anything. Okay? And again, no matter what product or service they're looking for, we're going to, pre-screen them based on those qualification criteria. So as soon as we do this, you can then respond with that firm offer of credit as soon as you see that need has been identified. You are also able to select what categories and what inquiries you want to target. Okay? And what I mean by this is you don't have to look for everything. If you're only interested in mortgage loans, that's all we have to look for. If you're only interested in auto loans, that's all we have to look for. We can do a combination, any one of the things, that's fine. You can also have multiple sets of criteria. And what I mean by that is, let's say we have a couple different mortgage products. If they fall in this criteria, I want to offer them mortgage product A. If they fall in this criteria, mortgage product B. Okay, so you can really pick and choose exactly how we're targeting and what we're looking at with these leads that are coming in. And again, we do it all based off your credit qualification criteria. When we get the alerts in, it all comes in one file. It contains info from all three bureaus, and then we give you that file so you can use it, to go ahead and fulfill those offers. Now, LKCS will help with any direct mail or email offers that you wanted to send out, and we would do that on the same day. So the day we got the lead, we would send that direct mail piece or that email offer same day. Okay, you wouldn't have to wait. Now, you can do that on your end. That's perfectly fine. If you wanted to make phone calls, that's fine. But that would also be something on your end. So for a summary of the alerting product, we're going to provide credit-based activity alerts from all three bureaus. You get to close loans that would have went to your competition by comparing that activity feed every day. We are going to monitor and identify the people who are in those lead fields each and every day. You're going to use your criteria to identify the people we actually want to make the offers to. We're going to send direct mail, do email, maybe a statement-based campaign, or provide an outbound phone call list to you or your call center to get in touch with everybody. So it's a pretty easy solution, pretty straightforward. So that is the overall theme of the alerting. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into the credit prospecting side. So with credit prospecting, everything's available. Okay, so again, I can look up information for auto loans, mortgages, HELOCs, auto or mortgage refinancing, credit cards, you name it, I have info on it. Okay, what we're going to do here is pre-screen your existing account holders or reach out to credit qualified prospects who live in the areas that you serve. Okay, and we can do both. What we're going to do here is extend those pre-approved offers of credit to both account holders and non-account holders based on, again, actual credit information. Once again, you set the criteria. Once again, we send out direct mail campaigns, email campaigns, statement-based campaigns, or you can make outbound phone calls, however you want to handle it. If you wanted more tracking, we do have a system called DataFlex reporting engine that can actually tell you the tracking and measure some results and all that other type of stuff. Unfortunately, I don't have a ton of time to get into that today, but you will be able to do that as well. You can go to the website and look up information there, or go ahead and email me after, and I can talk about it as well. So we're going to go over a couple potential prospecting campaigns, ways to leverage credit data to generate loans. Okay. Everything I'm going to show you here are just examples. You can be creative and brainstorm campaigns that actually make sense for your institution and adjust the parameters as needed. All right. I came up with these parameters. I made them up. Now they're what I typically see happen, but it doesn't mean that's what has to happen either. Okay, we can do it any way you want. So a couple potential auto refinance campaigns that you could do. On the left, a lease expiration campaign. In this campaign, we would look for people that have FICO scores of 640 or above. We're going to exclude anybody that has any late payment history, or repossessions on their record. Then I'm going to look for people that are currently leasing a vehicle and have 1 to 3 months left on that lease. Okay. We target the people that are almost up on their lease. Why? Because they're back in the market, right? How many people have a lease vehicle out there that when the lease is up, they turn that car in and they start walking or riding the bus? It doesn't happen. Okay? They're going to be in the market. This is the time to get in front of them, let them know what you have to offer, how you can help them purchase that vehicle or the next vehicle. On the right, looking for a straight loan payoff. Okay? Here, we're going to look for people with FICO scores of 640 or up, no late payments, no repossessions. I'm going to look for people that have a loan balance greater than $5,000. Okay? If it's under $5,000, it's not worth it for me to do a refinance. There's not enough meat left on the bone there, so to speak. So I'm going to target people with higher balances. I'm also going to offer a minimum monthly payment savings. So I can actually look at their current rate, their current payment, their current balance, and then target who I know I can save $20 a month on. If I can't save them $20 a month, let's not send them the offer. Okay? So we don't have to waste our marketing dollars targeting people who we necessarily can't help or they won't perceive as a big help. If I can only save somebody $1 a month, they're probably not going to come in and do the paperwork, right? So let's target who we know makes sense. So a couple other potential campaigns here. On the left, a credit card balance transfer. We're going to look for people that have FICO scores of, say, 620 and above. They have revolving debt of, let's say, over $10,000. They are currently using between 30 and 70% of their credit limit, and they don't have any current late payments. Let's go ahead and send them out an offer for a credit card balance transfer. Come to our credit card with a lower rate. Maybe we want to even do a personal loan off this. Hey, I see you have some revolving, debt. Maybe here's a personal loan at a better rate. Okay? So you can do it any way you want there. On the right-hand side, we're looking at a conventional mortgage. Okay, let's say FICO scores, 680 and up. They have a mortgage balance of, let's say, $100,000 or above. They do not currently have an FHA, VA, or reverse mortgage. And let's say the age of that loan is between 6 and 24 months old. Now, as you know, mortgage rates have just started to come back down a little bit. But for about the last 18 months, they were higher. So anybody that took a home loan out in those last 18 months, we know they have a higher rate than we can offer today. Let's target them. And let's say they have 95% LTV or less. Okay, so those are just some ideas or options of that credit prospecting power and how we can get in front of the right people with the good offer. So we're going to go over a couple, sample campaigns or what things could look like, right? In this case here, this is a direct mail piece. Could be a postcard, could be, a self-mailer that folded down to the size, whatever you want. Okay, so again, we're gonna tell them about, the offer. We're gonna put some variable data information on there. We're approving them for a certain amount, all that good stuff. You can do a personalized letter on the left. So it'd be a letter in a number 10 window envelope. It goes out with all that information. For those clients that use our statement services, or if you don't use our statement services, something to think about is doing what we call a statement cover letter. That's on the right. All this is going to be the first page of your statement or e-statement. The biggest expense you have on any direct mail campaign is your postage. You are already spending that money to get your statements out. We're spending the money to process the e-statement. So we piggyback on that. And that first page of the statement would be the letter. Everything after that would be your statement data as normal. So it's a great way to get in front of people while also saving some money. Again, email. If you have a lot of people that you have emails for and all that good stuff, we can definitely do email marketing. So same concept. Again, we're sending an email out. And again, we're going to help you set these up to make sure it has all the right language and compliance info so you're safe. So what are the costs? Okay. For credit prospecting, the pricing is really going to depend on several factors. It's going to depend on the number of records purchased. It's going to depend on the demographic selects that are purchased. It's going to depend on what the bureau minimum charges are. And then the setup charges. Okay? So those are things that will all come into play. And again, I can't tell you a price because everybody on the call would get a different price. But I can tell you on average, it's not going to be thousands of dollars. Okay? On average, you will probably spend under $1,000 to get the data. When you compare that to what we've seen, that's very inexpensive. So what I can do to help you is I can run free list counts and estimates at any time. Okay? Basically, you tell me the campaign you want to run, what you want to target, what you want to do. I will go into the system. I will run some numbers. And I will tell you, hey, there was 3,000 people that met that qualification criteria, or 10,000, or whatever that number is. And I will give you the exact cost to do that campaign. Purchase the data, do the direct mail or the email or whatever it is, and all that good stuff. All included. On the credit alerting side, again, costs are going to be different for everybody. It's going to be based on the number of people or account holders we're monitoring each month and the setup charges. And again, that's different for everybody. And again, it's cheaper than you think it is. I would say on average, you're probably in the $1,500 to $2,000 range. But again, everybody's different. But what we can do here is run an opportunity analysis for free. I would ask that you send me a file of account holders. All I would need is their first name, last name, address, and zip code. I would take that list and I would compare that to the bureau feed for the last 30 days. And then I'd be able to give you a report showing credit activity by inquiry type, the states they were applying in, the credit bureaus that saw that activity, and any qualification rates if you gave me specific qualification criteria. And what that means is I would be able to come back and say over the last 30 days, there were 600 mortgage inquiries, 500 auto inquiries, 400 credit card inquiries. Out of those 600 mortgage inquiries, 513 of them would have met your qualification criteria. Out of the 500 autos, 496 of them would have met your qualification criteria. So then you know, if I have this many leads on average a month, what are my closing rates? Would I make my money back? It's very easy to figure that out once you have that data. And again, that's free. I can run it for you at any time. This is a case study for credit alerting. This is looking at just mortgages with an average loan size of $150,000. We're looking at front-end and back-end revenue of 2.5% to 3% on that loan. So you look at the quantity monitored, and you can decide where you fit best. So I've got a couple just examples here. But let's go with the lowest one I have on the list at 15,000. At 15,000, I am going to say that your monthly mortgage trigger rate, the amount of people that are on your list that are going to be in the market for a mortgage, is at least 1%, which is typically really low. For financial institutions, we typically see around 3 to 4% of your total files in the market for any one product in any given month. So this is a pretty low estimate of 1%. You're going to get 150 leads based on 15,000 records monitored. Let's say our contact rate is 30%. And we are going to contact everybody. I am going to send a direct mail piece to everybody, an email to everybody, or a phone call is coming from, your institution to that person. Everybody is, yes, getting contacted. But I don't call that as a contact rate. Just because I attempted doesn't mean it happened. They're not going to open the email. They're not going to open the direct mail piece. They're not going to answer the phone, whatever. 30% will. They'll actually look at it and be interested in it. So that's realistic. Contact to close rate. And this is different for everybody. I estimated 10%. If you can close 10% out of the 30% of leads that are actually interested, that's going to give you 5 new mortgage loans a month at 15,000 people monitored, or 150 leads a month. That revenue, based on the numbers above, will be almost $21,000 over the life of those loans. An estimated cost of, let's say, $1,800 for that particular amount, you're making back $12 for every dollar you spend. If I start adding auto loans and credit cards and doing some cross-selling, that number goes up really fast. Okay, so we can see how this works. That is all I have for you today. So again, thank you for attending the LKCS webinar series on credit-based marketing today.